Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Angoville. Our heroes today are going to be Mr. Fortune, playing as the US forces in the blue. And his opponent is going to be Talisman, playing as the OKW forces in the red. So, I'm back, guys, and still not quite well. If you'll probably hear it in my voice every once in a while. Right now, I am holding the well, not really succeeding, but trying to hold back a cough because, goddamn, this is annoying. So, yeah, sorry, guys. I know that I've been away for quite a while, a lot longer than expected. But for those of you that checked the vlog, I got sick. I got very, very sick, and I'm still actually not quite out of it. So I hope this doesn't make it worse. But I wanted to come back and start making some casts. I mean, I'm a lot better now. I mean, I had just a simple cold, I would assume, but it's a nagging one. It didn't go away, and it's still not gone. But yeah, sorry guys, I missed quite a bit. The patch came out, and I wasn't able to read that patch to you guys. I know how much you enjoy that, and yeah, I'm sorry. So there's gonna be a lot of things new, a lot of things changing here that we are not gonna be used to. But well, we'll see if we can cope. Mainly, a lot of things that changed in the patch were for the OKW that we're seeing right now. The OKW got reworked in a lot of ways. Volksgrenadiers are better than they were. We're also going to see the Cool Wagon coming into play now, which is now capable of capping. But it'll slowly come to me. I did read the patch notes, but I'm not entirely familiar with them since I haven't gotten a chance to play. But anyways, so yeah, we saw a big engagement over here on the right-hand side as Fortune manages to set up a nice little flank there, manages to break through a reinforced location here for Talisman's Volksgrenadiers, breaking through, forcing away his squads, and then the second squad backpedaling and forced to retreat as well, giving Fortune control of the right-hand side of the map. Over on the left, we do see the Cool Wagon. The Cool Wagon has already capped at this point. We do have a Stormpile squad capturing this point of the fuel, and we're going to see the Cool Wagon capturing as well. It also has an accelerated rate of capping, so it captures a lot faster than the normal units. And of course, since it's Company Heroes 2, it doesn't actually have to touch the point, right? You can just sit on the point and cap, which means it can still shoot back and all those nice things. As opposed to, say, like in Company Heroes 1, where you could have, for the US forces, your light and medium vehicles, I believe, capping with the armor doctrine. But they would have to, you know, basically sit on the point, touch it, utilize it, cap it. So anyways, so yeah, a lot of things changed. Also, the teching for the OKW, they no longer get the truck for free. They have to purchase it, and then you purchase and acquire it. They also reworked the units inside of those structures. So, for example, the battle group headquarters, I believe you can now build the flak half-track from it. They also moved the Lux to the mechanized regiment headquarters, and then they moved the Jagdpanzer over to the Schwerpanzer headquarters. So it's a bit of a different rework. Also, their resources have been changed. They no longer have reduced income like they used to. They have a ooh, that almost went down. That was pretty close there for Fortune. Almost takes out the battle group headquarters, but yeah, you can see there the lay, the infrared, and the half track. But yeah, they also took away the redistribute resources ability for them. So there's a lot of changes. I mean, I'm not going to go through all of them, but it was a good patch. I mean, obviously there's going to be situations that arise from a patch that were not previously anticipated, and we'll see what those are. Haven't been able to really keep up just yet. But yeah, I mean, for example, just having the Cool Wagon moving around and capping, that's just fucking amazing for the OKW. That's so strong. And you can still push with that if you want. They did remove the suppression ability. It can no longer suppress, like when it stands still. That's gone, so you no longer have an MG essentially. But you know, it still works, so it's fine. Talisman has gone for his Doctrine. Ooh, sorry. Yeah, like I said, I'm still not good, but I wanted to start casting again because I've been gone too long, and I'm gonna be gone again next week. for another week, so it's gonna suck in these. But after that, I should be home for a long while, and unless I get ill again, I should be fine. But yeah, Talisman went for the Luftwaffe ground forces doctrine, getting himself an MG34 because, like I said, the CoH2 no longer provides the suppression ability, so you kind of have to if you wanted to be able to keep infantry in place. Lieutenant on the field for fortune. He's going to be pushing forward with that. Has the ambulance already set up, back at base, healing up. All the factions got some adjustments as well in the patch, so, you know, things to keep in mind. I believe the bazookas are a lot better now for the U.S. forces, so light vehicles have to be a little bit more careful. But yeah, we'll see how it all progresses. And what's new? Anyways, 50 cal machine gun getting brought up for fortune. He's gonna be fighting house to house there with the machine guns. Not a bad idea, but we'll see how it pans out as far as who ends up winning. Volksgrenadiers capturing over on the right-hand side. The CoH2 being forced to back off. The truck over here still catching fire. Not fully back up to snuff, but we do see the flak hafter coming into play because you can, of course. And we're probably going to be seeing a lot more of that one very frequently because, well, it's now from the battle group headquarters. So you get yourself your healing, your reinforcement. You know, it seems like a very, very good deal and a very good idea to get it now. Whereas before, you know, you would have to sacrifice that option in order to get the flak half track. Big push here through the front. We have rifles hold up in the truck here. More rifles and the lieutenant coming up behind the Volksgrenadiers in front of the house. Volksgrenadiers squad going to be popping an incendiary grenade inside the house. Lieutenant managing to pop out and is going to give chase. The flak half track though does set itself up. Getting some good shots here on the rifles as they are in the heavy cover. The truck managing to absorb some of the hits, allowing them to stay alive. MG34 out in the open manages to catch the lieutenant's squad out in the open and getting it pinned down. Rifle squad trying to get the flank, also getting pinned down by the flak half track, and the squad in the cover gets incendiary-nated and forced to retreat, giving Talisman nice control over here on the right-hand side of the map. Flak half track now moving over to the right-hand side to support the Volksgrenadiers. Going to be popping, no, not going to be popping through the hedge. Was a little bit of a risky maneuver, but we'll see. CoH2 and Storm Pilots over on the left-hand side moving together. A nice combination there as the CoH2 can absorb the damage, do damage itself, and get quickly repaired by the Storm Pilots as they also provide some very needed support. So, not a bad combination of units there to have as capping units on the other side of the map, essentially. 50 cal machine gun inside the house, returning fire to the MG34 inside the yellow house. Has done a decent amount of damage to it. It's down to 2 men. However, the flak half track is able to provide a lot of damage there. Utility car now on the field for fortune. Going to be pushing forward with its 50 cal and the bazooka inside. Getting upgraded with the armored skirts. Getting all nice and dolled up. The rear echelon squad popping in through the front. MG34 popping out. Going to be retreating. The utility car going to be trying to go for the kill. It might actually be able to get the kill, however, with Volksgrenadier squad right in front of it. Even if it does get the kill, it's not really going to accomplish much, as it's not going to be able to really steal anything. Volksgrenadier squad with the Shrek is forced to retreat, as the flak half track is currently set up. Going to be getting some good shots there on the rear of the utility car. Not a bad idea there, though, as it is essentially absorbing the shots there for the infantry, allowing them to close the distance and get right on top of that flak half track. The 50 cal machine gun also doing the damage as it can. Bazooka popping out. There goes the shot. Gets a good hit. Back inside the truck. Popping the smoke. Nice control by both players here. Keeping itself inside the smoke as he tries to break line of sight. Can he stay alive? No. There's a lot of small arms fire. And there goes the shots. Down goes the flak half track. And a nice pickup of fortune as he barely makes it out there with the lieutenant. Down to 1 man. Forced to retreat, but stays alive. Very, very good turnout there for Mr. Fortune. Talisman continues to push with his Volksgrenadiers, now having 4 in total, only 1 with a Shrek. The utility car is currently back here on the point, getting reinforced. Very close to the front lines, but not a bad idea to do, as it does allow it to come back quickly. It is also covered by the 50 cal machine gun, so it's not really in that big of threat. It's going to get shot by the Shrek here, which is fine. It's not going to die to 1 Shrek, so it doesn't really have too much to worry about. And no other Volksgrenadier squad is getting upgraded, so the 50 cal here is going to be able to rip through this Volksgrenadier squad, just pushing it around, not allowing it to set up for a shot. There goes the retreat, and down goes the Volks. The other Volksgrenadier squad also forced to retreat, not wanting to stay in front of the truck. And the 50 cal machine gun did manage to make it out of there. Second 50 cal machine gun is brought in for Fortune. And he does have, well, we haven't actually seen, well, we did get to see the heavy cav a little bit. But we also have the new one, the Tactical Support Company. It's the one that gives you the Calliope. We'll see if Fortune goes for that, and if, you know, hopefully he does, and we'll be able to spot a new unit, a new Doctrine in play. So far, though, he is not relying on any Doctrine for his abilities. Pushing forward once again, Talisman very aggressive with his troops, managing to pull up again inside that stone house. The Kubel wagon also being forced to back off. Incendiary grenades getting popped there by the Volksgrenadiers, catching a lot of infantry in the fire. The lieutenant even running straight into the fire, taking a lot of damage. Remember, the Volksgrenadiers did get a buff. They do more damage, so if you're not fighting them in cover, you actually take a lot of damage. This one was a little bit more pronounced, considering that there's a Fallschirmjäger squad there, but Fallschirmjäger squad now moving up, in position to throw a grenade. Does not throw a grenade as it gets pinned down. Volksgrenadier squad do go for the flank, and they manage to throw the incendiary grenade. Sorry if I'm slurring my words. Again, it's kind of still difficult to talk. Incendiary shots flying from that MG34. Trying to get some hits there on that rifle squad. It does retreat, gets out of there, so it stays alive. Ooh, Volksgrenadier squad with the Shrek down to one man is potentially here going to be going down. Is he going to lose the Shrek, or is he just going to lose the squad? Well, the 50 cal on top, unable to seal the deal, going to be forced to back off as the incendiary shots from the 50 cal and the approaching Volksgrenadiers with another Shrek really put the fear of God in those men inside the truck. Well, the car. It's a utility car, right? Not a truck. Right-hand side, 50 cal, hold up inside that house. Going to be popping out and going for a point. Point. Oh, man. And on the left-hand side, we have some rifles just capping. So the Kubelwagen is still alive. It is ideal that you keep that thing alive because, again, it's a very fast capping unit that you can utilize. At the very least, just cap on this side of the map where you're not focused on.
The enemy has cut our supply chain. Our resource sector has been isolated.
Volksgrenadiers without a Shrek, unable to really do too much. We do see the one on the back getting upgraded with the Shrek. However, it does not have it yet, so the 50 cal on that utility car, able to rain down death upon them very easily without getting shot back. And we see the lieutenant now acquiring veteran C3, able to dart around the map very quickly, getting itself right inside that yellow house. But we do see the Panzer headquarters has gone down for Mr. Talisman, right out here in the top. Not in a position to cover the victory point, but very close to it, so it still gives you that defender's advantage. Kubelwagen and Storm Piles once again for Talisman, moving over to the left-hand side, going to be capping together. We're also going to be seeing some mines getting laid down, shoe mines, trying to stop any of the infantry from capping for Fortune in the future. Utility car, though, does get brought up over to the left-hand side, going to be chasing down that Kubelwagen. Not actually going to chase down the Kubelwagen as it decides to turn itself very abruptly, managing to dodge the, oh, that was very fortunate. See what I did there? For Fortune, but, it almost looked on purpose. So he goes around, darts around, lets them finish the mine, and then detonates the mine right on top of the storm piles and destroys them. So with the Panzer headquarters, you can build, of course, the Panzer IV that is coming out. You can still build the Panther and such, but like I said, the Jagdpanzer was the one that got added over here. They also made a change to how the what's the name? The King Tiger works. It's still basically the same requirements. You need to build all 3 buildings, but it's now like a call-in ability that gets featured instead of building it from the HQ. Doesn't really change too much, but you know, it's just that. It is also limited to 1, like the heavy tanks should. So one of those little changes that kind of needed to be made regardless, but you know, now they got made. 50 cal machine gun right there on the opening of the hedge, managing to catch those Fallschirmjägers out in the open, getting them suppressed and allowing the rifle squad to retreat without much of an issue. We do see a fighting position getting built here for Fortune on the other side of the hedge. Not really getting billed for the 50 cal. Doesn't look like he's not even researching it, and doesn't look to be inclined to do so. But remember that it does give those rear echelon squads the rifle grenades, so it allows them to provide some indirect line of fire support here and throw grenades to the enemy. Not gonna do a lot against the tank though, but you know, something to keep in mind there. So the Panzer IV came in like a wrecking ball. Gonna be hitting that fighting position. Rear echelon squad popping outside of the fighting position. Gonna get targeted now by the Panzer IV. They're gonna retreat. We do have a pack howitzer on the field for fortune. The pack howitzer and the lay, the infantry support gun, they both got changed in that they removed the suppression from them now. They added back the auto rotation, which was a stupid thing to remove in the first place. So they're not as, you know, as amazing, I suppose, as they were before. But, you know, the pack howitzer is still pretty accurate and strong. So while it's not going to suppress, it can still do damage and hit. So, you know, not a bad unit. Not sure what it's trying to hit, but it's shooting something over there. So rifles pushing over on the right-hand side, trying to push back on the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV is really unopposed right now. We do have the captain coming out for fortune, so he's going to have those bazookas. And, of course, with the captain also comes the ability of the anti-tank gun. It is, of course, the lighter of the anti-tank guns. Not the lightest, but, you know, on the light side, so it's not incredible. Something collapsed over here? I heard a lot of crashing. No, I don't think so. So anyways, AT gun moving over to the right-hand side. Panzer IV taking some shots from it. You can see there it gets some hits. Not a lot of damage. Not really getting that penetration. But it is still a threat, and you don't want to leave a Panzer IV in front of it, because otherwise it will die.
A capture point is under attack.
Utility car popping straight through the center. Going to be pushing out as the crew pops out of it to capture. Not really repair. It's actually fine, but having the bazooka there does actually benefit it a little bit more. The Panzer IV doesn't like bazookas. It's a little bit allergic to them. On the left-hand side, Volksgrenadiers capping. The cool wagon is still online. Still there. Only one kill so far, but it has gotten veterancy 1 and captured quite a bit. Right-hand side, Lieutenant being utilized to cab with the utility car nearby for support. Captain also in the front, making sure that those anti-tank units are in the front, making sure that if the Panzer IV decides to be too aggressive, it's going to be punished severely. Pack howitzer turning its sights over to the center. Not really in range of anything, but it'll do its best to potentially kill something. Over on the left-hand side, we do see two rifle squads pushing together as they try to oppose the Volksgrenadiers. However, they are being supported by an MG-34, so that is going to be very difficult to break, and Fortune is going to be forced to retreat. We do see, of course, that the Doctrine has been selected for Fortune, and that is, in fact, the tactical support company. So we'll see if we can see a Perchin later on. Rifle grenade flying and almost hitting its own units. Oh, nasty hits there. What the hell killed it? Panzer IV went down. I mean, we did have the AT gun get a good shot off. That kind of died a little bit abruptly, didn't it? Well, Panzer IV down for Talisman. And we do have the bazooka here and such, so... Did they kill it?
Ready for action.
No. Did this guy kill it? No. This guy killed it.
Here. Sherman ready.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a anti-tank rifle grenade as well.
A capture point
So yeah, a little bit of a combination of a lot of factors. And ooh, we do get to see the Calliope. Look at that. Look at that thing. That is so cool. That is a lot of barrels. Wow, a lot of barrels. I don't know, does this one actually shoot? Or is it like the, you know, original Vico Calliope where it's just, you know, it's a dud. It just fires the rockets. Well, regardless of what it is, it seems to be setting up for a barrage.
armor ready.
Over on the left-hand side, we see a 50 cal being forced away as the MG-34 seems to have done that. Lieutenant over on the right-hand side, still being utilized. The cap going to go for the victory point. Remember, there is not enough range there for that Schwerpanzer headquarters to cover that point. The Calliope going to be pushing forward, going to be breaking through the wall, opening up the cover, essentially. And there goes the barrage. Does it look like... Oh, that looks so cool. Very similar to the... What's it called? The other one that nobody likes. The Katusha. Seems kind of similar. It's not exactly the same effect as I would have hoped, but still. Left-hand side, vehicle crew apparently having lost its utility car while I was looking at something else. I'll actually note it and see how it died. Doesn't matter too much, but we'll see. Oops, sorry. Anyways, and the vehicle crew fighting over on the left-hand side. The Calliope still has 40 seconds left on its recharge, so it's not going to be doing too much. We do have another Panzer IV on the field for Talisman, which I'm assuming it's what killed. No, it's not it, so never mind. We'll take a look and see how it died. AT gun in the center, though, getting eliminated there by Fallschirmjägers as they pop inside that house. The captain, unable to do too much, is going to be forced to retreat, and an AT gun is left there out in the open for the taking there for Talisman. Over on the left-hand side, this 50 cal machine gun is able to push forward, managing to get on the flank and potentially get the suppression going on that MG. The MG popping its incendiary rounds on the vehicle crew. The 50 cal trying to reposition itself to get a good shot here. However, it does get flanked by the Volksgrenadiers, trying to turn itself around to face them. However, they are able to just play a bring around that. Oh, one of them goes down to one man on the 50 cal, but it's going to barely be able to make it out of there. Let's keep an eye on this guy and put a hotkey on that and make sure that we catch those barrages, as we don't, you know, we're not going to have the option to see the Calliope all the time. Center map, Panzer IV pushing forward. The rifles trying to go for the AT gun. Fallschirmjägers and Volksgrenadiers moving into the zone to try and do as well. Barrage going through by the Calliope, getting right on top of the AT gun. Nice barrage. Clears out of Fallschirmjäger squad. Volksgrenadier squad getting itself inside the yard. Shots continue to fly. And the other Volksgrenadier squad is able to move out of the sight. So apparently the Sherman is unable to shoot back from its main gun. Because otherwise the barrels on top would fall apart. But it's nice to know that that's the thing. Fighting position that gets destroyed there by the Panzer IV. The AT gun did get destroyed there by the Calliope, but a nice barrage there. Took out those Fallschirmjägers, was, you know, quite worth it. Left-hand side, Lieutenant squad able to break through with the support here of another rifle squad as the flank gets completely open. Victory points 374 to 358. Anybody's game at this stage, so we'll see how that progresses. Ow, my nose. And on the right-hand side, some Volksgrens capturing that fuel point. And that cool wagon's still alive. Quite an annoying wagon. So rifles pushing straight through the center.
The troops await your command.
Captain up in the house to the north. Forced to retreat, but makes it out of there. Sorry, a little bit distracted here. Some annoyances. Anyways, Calliope goes again. Is it going straight for the house, or is it going for the... Yeah, it's going for the infantry support gun. Ooh, nice shot, eliminating the entire squad. Weapon itself is left on the battlefield. Still alive, though, at about half strength, so not a complete loss. Oh. Rear echelon squad gets eliminated there in the center of the map by the Panzer IV. Fallschirmjäger squad popping inside that house, trying to finish off the troops, but unable to do too much. And a P-47 strafing run does get called in, which I missed completely. Not entirely sure where that hit. That doesn't matter too much. Volksgrenadier squad getting a nice incendiary round on the captain. The captain forced to retreat, down to one man. Panzer IV giving chase. However, there is a rifle squad in the way. The rifle squad does have access to anti-tank rifle grenades. Gets a shot, gets a hit, down goes the engine. Still alive, of course, and it's only a damaged engine, so it's not too big a deal. Major now on the field. We do have the Calliope moving forward. Another AT gun on the field for Fortune. He's going to be pushing here and trying to get some shots on the Panzer IV. Don't think we'll be able to finish it off, but it might be able to get a hit off on it. Still in range, so... Nope, not going to be able to see it, so... It's fine. Over on the right-hand side, the Volksgrenadiers are engaging the vehicle crew, both squads having an anti-tank weapon on themselves. However, the vehicle crew, a little bit less trained for combat in that sense, so they are forced to retreat. And the Panzer IV over on the left-hand side goes down for some reason. What spotted it anyways? Well, AT gun manages to get the kill though, so who knows? So Talisman now actually looking in a very rough spot. He needed to keep that Panzer IV alive to be able to be a threat, and now without that, I mean, of course he can replace it, but now he's down severely in the amount of vehicles. Infantry support gun is still there out in the open. Gonna get recovered there by Talisman. Volksgrenadier is gonna be moving back. Weapon itself should be moving back as well to recover. The barrage going off into the battle group headquarters, trying to see if it can catch any reinforcement units. A valiant attempt there by Fortune, but nothing currently there is in position. They all shifted and moved, so does make it look like it's a little bit of a more constructed location. Kind of seems like cement. Volksgrenadier is going to be rounding the corner into a lot of rifles, shooting at them, moving themselves back. Infantry support gun trying to provide some support, managing to get some hits in there. However, remember, these weapons no longer suppress, so if they don't hit, they're kind of useless. And yeah, the lieutenant is just able to simply move out of the way, and the weapon itself just keeps shooting at the same location where it once thought it was. Cool wagon over on the left-hand side, catching the 50 cal. Incendiary rounds firing from the MG34. Manages to break the left-hand side and recover some territory. Victory points 374 to 290, currently in the favor for Fortune. However, left-hand side seems to be falling. Captain moving in that direction, going to be trying to spot the Kugel wagon and take it out. Up in the center, Lieutenant engaging against Volksgrens. Hold up inside houses, rifle squad retreating. And the Calliope is getting ready to shoot again. Volksgrenadier squad. Not the Volksgrenadiers, the Kugel wagon just sitting there, as the captain did not push any further forward. Bazooka flying at this house. This house is very close to collapsing. The Calliope is now back online. And the captain over on the left-hand side does finally manage to eliminate the Kugel wagon, as it quickly shoots it up with its new and improved bazookas. Third Panzer IV getting built there for Talisman. Could go for a different tank, but there's not a lot here for the heavier tank to do. I mean, I suppose it could go try and hunt and eliminate the Calliope. I suppose that'd be fine. Panzer IV, though, does seem a little bit more multi-purpose. So the Major did set up a little bit further forward, giving the units a bit of a better retreat spot. Calliope throwing yet another barrage. The infantry support gun sitting there in the center, taking some additional damage. Could potentially go down, but it manages to not eliminate, but dodge the last few shots. Keeping itself alive and with 2 men remaining.
Vehicle now ready for action. Vehicle now ready for action.
That pack howitzer seems very explosive.
Sherman ready to go. Sherman ready for action.
So left-hand side, we see Fallschirmjägers for Talisman trying to keep the territory. The MG34 doing its best here to potentially do that. But currently Fortune has been able to push all the way to this victory point, still giving him 2. keeping his lead and extending it for more than 100 points now. We do see back at base, Fortuning is going to be building himself a Sherman. Not a bad idea to have. Needs a little bit more of a main battle tank than the Calliope. Calliope's still amazing though. Still able to do quite a bit of damage there with its shots. Rifles pushing forward straight through the center. Volksgrenadier's not really going to be very friendly in that stance. Vehicle crew moving over to the victory point, trying to stop the decap. Manages to do so only momentarily, and then is forced to retreat. Lieutenant trying to hold off against the Volksgrens by itself. Getting shot at by some Panther Force. The Calliope, again, is right there, ready to go. Lieutenant taking some damage, forced to retreat. Rifles getting equipped with LMGs because the Doctrine does provide LMG support. And the AT gun also moving up as well. 50 cal machine gun, able to break the Volksgrenadiers and forcing them to crawl through the ground. AT gun taking some shots there at the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV down to very low amounts of health. The Calliope is still alive, going to be throwing a barrage at somewhere, looks like. Moved itself up quite significantly. And we do see a P-47 recon run. Right on top of everything. He knows that they're there. I'm assuming he's going to barrage right there. Nope. Volksgrenadiers move up. They do take a little bit of... they get a hit off on the Calliope a little bit. Calliope forced to back off as Fallschirmjägers move very close to it, and they, of course, have access to the Fausts. And the AT gun does get cleared out there by those Fallschirmjägers. Sherman moving up. Sherman does have the explosive rounds loaded. Getting some shots there on the Fallschirmjägers. Fallschirmjägers forced to retreat. The Calliope is still online. We do still have 10 seconds left of reconnaissance. And here goes the barrage. Boom. Right on top of the Schwerpanzer headquarters. Not going to be clearing much there, but it is going to be doing some damage to the station itself. The truck. Which I suppose is okay. Obersoldaten getting called in for Talisman. They're not really going to be able to do too much here against that Sherman, but the Sherman is getting shot at here by the Shreks and even the infantry support gun. Oh, nasty grenade going off on the 50 cal. 50 cal forced to retreat, barely makes it out of there as the infantry support gun takes some shots. Volksgrenadiers fighting against the Sherman taking some damage, as of course they do have a Shrek, and the Shreks are quite lethal. Left-hand side, the MG-34 does manage to stop the approach of some rifles and forces them to retreat. But army value-wise, I mean, we have 98 versus 57 from Fortune in the favor of Fortune, so it's very difficult here for Talisman to do much. Victory point still at 224, so, you know, they're not completely out. But, we'll see. Sherman over here, Calliope. Its ability still on cooldown, about 20 seconds out, so should be getting soon, but yeah, it seems pretty powerful. I mean, it seems, like I said, pretty similar to a Katusha. Of course, it's a tank, so it's able to take a little bit more punishment. This yellow house seems to be wanting to collapse. It's very, very close to falling. Calliope once again throwing off a barrage. Getting right on top of all these troops. Volksgrenadier squad taking some damage. Infantry support gun getting shot up in all directions. And oh, a nice hit there by the Calliope, eliminating the Volksgrenadier squad. It does drop its Shrek, however, so that does leave it in position there for Talisman to recover it. So it's not all bad, but that is another dead squad and some lost veterancy. Storm Pilots making an appearance once again in the game, as Talisman has decided to rebuild them to be able to repair things. House up in the north collapsing as the Obersoldaten evacuated. Some kills inside, but not an entire squad wipe, it doesn't look like. And on the left-hand side, we see a rifle squad going for the cutoff, making sure that Talisman is not getting much, if any, resources from the left-hand side. Definitely not the fuel and not the munitions, because, well, they're not connected anymore. Panzer IV still around. The Sherman hasn't really been able to do too much. Only 4 kills so far, and hasn't been able to take out the Panzer IV. Even though it really wouldn't have been able to by itself at least, but could potentially follow up and finish it. MG-34 trying to set itself up to attack the rifles. We do see a P-47 strafing run right on top of the MG. The MG getting very quickly eliminated here. The rifle's in position to take it out. They are focusing their fire on the retreating unit, but it seems to be healthy enough that it makes it out of there. And then we have the Panzer IV moving to the left-hand side to shoo them away. Storm Pilots and Fallschirmjägers pushing over to the right-hand side, going to be trying to go for the point, but we do have an AT gun, rifles, lieutenant, a Sherman defending that point, so it's a very difficult cookie to crack there. Even a 50 cal machine gun up behind it, making sure that nothing sneaks by. Sherman Calliope, 26 kills to its name so far. Veteran C2 acquired. Mobility and rate of fire, weapon range and rate of fire, and reduces scatter and improved rate of fire. So I'm assuming that means reducing the cooldown on the ability, but yeah, we'll see. So the Panzer IV moving straight through the center, running through a lot of anti-tank weapons. Getting some crush going there on the captain. The captain trying to move out of the way. Managing to do so decently effectively. Airborne assault getting called in on top of all the infantry. They're going to be moving back here as we see the Fallschirmjägers getting called in. Oh, nasty shot there by the Panzer IV. Vehicle crew popping into the house, getting some good shots. There goes the bazookas. Oh, the Panzer IV loses its engine. Very low in health. It's going to be going down here, and that might actually be game there for Mr. Talisman. Yep. There goes the Panzer IV. Panzer IV crashes into the hedge, goes up in a ball of flame. And with that, Talisman really has no hope. The Calliope throwing yet another barrage into the base. Trying to catch all those scattered units. Managing to do so. Getting some hits here and there. Oh, eliminating the retreated ones. Talisman throws in the towels. He says, enough is enough. And that is game. So very nice to see this new unit into the game. Sad to see that you can only access it through that doctrine. But still, you know, it's nice to see new units. But yeah, so sorry guys. I know probably not my best here. And maybe a little bit off on the voice. But I'm trying my best. Like I said, I'm going to try at the very least to get another week of casts going. Because like I said, next week I'm going to be gone again. So probably no more casting that. But after that, I should be back for a decent amount of time, and hopefully there'll be less interruptions. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.